Debate, the Honourable Member for Vimy.
Monsieur le Président, je suis très...
Mr. Speaker, I'm very happy to have an opportunity to speak to this bill, this private member's bill, introduced by the member for Mississauga-Lakeshore, Bill 309, an act to establish Gender Equality Week. Before starting, I'd like to highlight the exceptional work done by the member for Mississauga-Lakeshore. This week will shine a spotlight on obstacles women face on a daily basis and serve to make Canadians aware of steps they can take to move things forward. When I talk about systemic discrimination, I think that everyone here knows what obstacles and different types of discrimination women face in their private and professional lives. These obstacles are outlined in detail in the preamble of the bill and describe the different types of confrontation. The member who put forth this bill in a spirit of collegiality worked hard to work with all members to achieve a vast consensus, a broad consensus rather. And Bill C-309 is an important symbolic gesture for Canada and will lead to a broad-ranging awareness campaign. So we will be each year underscoring the importance of gender equality in Canada and throughout the world in order to put an end to systemic discrimination women face on many fronts. In Canada, women are more likely to be victims of gender-based violence, including sexual assault and domestic violence. More so, women, Aboriginal women, First Nations women, Métis and Inuit women are disproportionately affected by gender-based violence and sexual exploitation. And Canadian women must overcome barriers to complete secondary studies and to work in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Many times it's not as easy for women to be promoted to positions on senior management, to boards, as their male colleagues are. And these are the types of realities that women face. I'd like to thank the member for Mississauga-Lakeshore for having outlined these aspects in the bill. We do understand that we must make people aware of these problems and deal with them by adopting pragmatic policies to be better equipped to support women throughout their lives, to offer flexible services, to help them to adjust and adapt to professional and daily realities that are new, to enable women to achieve their professional objectives, regardless of what they are, and to put an end to violence against women. It's encouraging to note that this bill was put forth by a male member of the Liberal caucus. More men need to defend gender equality for women in Canada. This will require awareness, also promoting a cultural and ideological ideal. It's about building a society that defends gender equality and doesn't put forth stereotypes or preconceived ideas of inferiority. This is another step with a view to changing social conceptions of masculinity and femininity, which are designed to limit association or participation, among other things. Mr. Speaker, we know that different opinions, different points of view are beneficial in all aspects of society. The Standing Committee on the Status of Women, of which I am a member, has heard from a number of witnesses who have described the advantages of having women on boards, corporate boards, women in politics, and at all levels of management in our companies and public institutions. Companies perform better and generally have a more favorable image when women are involved and when they hold management positions. These are not just statistics, but facts. However, women are often sidelined when it comes to positions where they can be involved in decision-making, and that is regrettable. It's time to abandon these preconceived ideas and these concerns associated with the idea of hiring women, which are based on preconceived ideas. Bill C-309 can serve as a catalyst, and it can help turn into action the necessary steps for raising awareness and improving education on gender equality. Everyone knows that in order to achieve equality, we need to have a change, a monumental change in culture. We need to acknowledge the contribution of women in society, both in their public lives and private lives. It's important as well to acknowledge that the work done, the work done to support family unity. Oftentimes this work is underestimated and is often entrusted to women in keeping with traditional roles associated with each gender. This situation often prevents women from integrating the workforce and delays or diminishes their economic potential, and by extension, the economic potential for all because of this loss of talent. It's essential to eliminate these trends and to ensure that women hold the same positions, the same responsibilities as men, both at home and in the workforce, to allow them to be autonomous and to achieve these things economically and socially. The federal government, thanks to many initiatives, is striving to improve gender equality. $7 billion over 10 years has been earmarked for putting in place measures and to create and support good quality childcare spaces. More than $11.2 billion over 11 years is part of an inclusive housing strategy. The new Canada child benefit is not taxable, and this is beneficial for single-parent families led by women. There's also a new $40 million fund at the Development Bank of Canada for companies led by women. And, Mr. Speaker, this bill will support the laudable efforts already undertaken thanks to official institutionalization of gender equality. In fact, it would create an annual week to acknowledge gender equality in Canada so that gender equality is finally recognized as a cultural standard. In addition, by ensuring that women are more autonomous, this bill would result in there being more women on boards, more women in politics, and more women in science and technology. This will be the ideological cornerstone that can be added to the series of feminist and pragmatic policies the government has put forth. Mr. Speaker, to conclude, I'd like to remind the House that Bill C-309 is a very important step in raising the awareness for gender equality. The only way to make real change is by making people aware, by educating them on this important issue. I hope that my colleagues will vote in favor of this bill with amendment in order to support our ongoing efforts in order to achieve gender equality in Canada. The more we fight for this, the more women in Canada will benefit. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.